because we were talking right before this started. Like,
Yes.
I had the first conversation with you guys, and I was actually in Myrtle Beach, and we were not building in the area, but I was like, we're definitely going to, like, and so it's kind of funny that I thought about that, like, when I was pulling, I was like, I'm pretty confident that I had the first conversation with you.
You did.
And
So in the beginning of our research online, that's how I found you. Just reading through everything, and I was like, well, let me just call them and find out. So I called, and I think at the time you guys were still a very small company.
Yeah.
Probably just you and Ross.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two other employees. But I think I left a message or I sent an email, and you gave me a call. And you walked me through the process. I think you spent about 20 minutes on the phone with me, and after we got off the phone, I was like, I feel good about this. I feel good about TJ. I feel good about the Barndo Co. So I talked to Sean about it, and we kind of ventured into the partnership then.
Yeah.
Early on, 2 years ago.
The dating relationship.
Yeah.
That was
Talking about the dating.
Well, and so everyone, there's uncertainty there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a vision, and then you got to find someone who's capable of making it reality, and that isn't always quick. And so, we had a conversation. I kind of walked through what the onboarding process looks like, and then you guys had some homework here that you're trying to solve and like figure out what your timeline's going to look like. And then when you came back, I was no longer in sales, and I think you guys got partnered with Olivia,
We did.
who's a great. So that,
Wonderful.
yeah, Olivia's phenomenal, and she's been on the show before, so you can go back and find Olivia's episode. But Olivia is a phenomenal sales agent. Really understands the process. She was one of the first ones that we hired. Her and Shannon been here the longest of anybody. But you kind of came back, and so talk through that a little bit, because one of the things that we stand on, and whether it's a wise business thing or not, is choose us, don't just use us. There's tons of options, and we aren't the best builder for everyone, and every client's not the best client for us. And so we talk about that, like, hey, as a 2-year window, what was some of the conversations that went on? What were some of the things? What other alternatives did you explore? And then how did we end up here?
So to kind of go back just a second, Andrea she was on board from day one, and it was me. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I was a skeptic, and it was kind of, I'm sitting here thinking, we're in Conway, South Carolina. How are we going to pull this off? And you were in the fuse got lit stage. And so you guys were growing and rocking and rolling. And we were kind of like, how are we going to do this? And so we went through the process, and it was great. And Jeff was great, and we ended up designing a massive Barndominium.
Carried away.
Yeah.
We got very carried away.
It's out there somewhere. Maybe the Basswood.
Yes, the Basswood plant.
If anyone builds one, we'd love to see it in real life. But the design process was great because, it's a number. Like you can incorporate design elements and different modifications, but it all is tied to a number. And, I don't think we really wanted to buy into that. And so we were like, we're hammering down through this design process, and Jeff, he knocked it out. It was awesome. But we got done and was like, well, that doesn't really work. It looks great, but
doesn't really work.
it didn't really fit our mold. So we pulled back, and, as probably everyone does, is like, there's gotta be a way. And so we kicked the tires on a bunch of different options. And, there's a lot of folks out there willing to take advantage of people that are kind of, engaging in that process that don't really have a good idea of what they're getting into. There's plenty of people that'll drop metal off at the, the highway out here and walk away. And then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
And, finding a way to pull all those concepts and pieces together is just, an individual, I don't think understands the breadth of which the energy that it'll take to do that. And that's kind of, we explored those options, and we explored going back to a traditional thing. And I think at the end of the day, the concept was, we clicked on Barndo Co for a reason. I think it was the concept. We wanted the Barndominium. We wanted to be different. We kind of had stepped out of the mold. And so we kind of went full circle and said, these are the folks that can pull this off from start to finish and bring all those elements together and be able to kind of tie it all up and really get us to the finish line. I think that's where we came back to, and it was full circle. It was a process that I think was very helpful because, at the end of the day, we know that we looked at a bunch of different options, and
We
this
explored every option.
this is the option that will get you from A to B. And I don't think there's another one out there. And you talk about the going from a small company, you and Ross, to now where you are, and it's a brand. I think that whole build concept has sort of evolved into that brand is out there, and folks can come and look at it and put your hands on it, and the more places you go in East Tennessee and Somerville and in North Carolina, everyone's getting an opportunity to see that evolution. And I think in our 2-year relationship,
Right.
it's grown into that, and it's actually been kind of fun to see. So when we came back, like, oh, you got marketing people? Like, we didn't have any of that. So
The whole team.
we kind of, in our evolution process, we got to see full circle that growth and how fun it was we knew the concept was there, and we knew that the ability to pull it off, the Barndominium concept, was there with y'all the whole time. It's just a matter of us working through the process.
Figuring things out.
Well, the good thing is the delay gave you a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple things that go into that. One is we set out in the beginning and to build Barndos. And that was it. That was the mission. Build Barndominiums. And we were only doing cash because we couldn't figure out how to do financing at the time. So when we started, we were only marketing to cash consumers. And most of those cash consumers were extremely custom, and like they're designing houses that you would never sell again. And there was a piece of me that was like, there's too much freedom. There's too many options. And a larger pool of people have that experience, right? Like, let's design our dream. And then you're like, ugh, And so that happened over and over and over again. So we're like, okay, well, we need to put boundaries up. Like, how do we prevent people from getting here? And so we put a new level of boundary in, and we communicated that boundary. And Jeff does a phenomenal job, Jeff Fry. And he's still with us. He's been with us for the last couple years, and he's actually getting ready to take a new role in the company with us and like elevate the service even more. But part of that was like just building Barndos and then figuring out how to finance them, figuring out how to put plans together that would meet people's needs that could then be customized to meet your wants. And so we kind of shifted to more of a semi-custom option. We still do customs. We still design barns all day, every day. But we've gotten really, really good at the process. And so but when we went from like, hey, we're just going to build Barndos, 2 guys in a truck, to we're going to build a brand that takes us to the next level, it started with core values, and the first one we dropped was we want to be the best. And part of that experience of being the best is admitting that you're not in a certain area. And so we had to take a deep look at like, where are we not the best? Let's put all of our effort and emphasis in that area. And it's not fun. It's not the fun stuff. We've always built great buildings. How do you become the best communicator? How do you become the best experience? How do you become the best design? How do you become the best at balancing budget and design? How do you become the best at balancing budget, design, emotions, and different land every single time? Like, you're building this beautiful barn, and we've built a similar plan numerous times. But every time it's on a different piece of land with different soil composition, with different entrance, with different colors, different selections inside. So they're all custom, but how you do that the best? And so we really sought out to do that. And you guys have kind of been around long enough to see that evolution of, 2 guys in a truck to a team of 50 plus people in multiple states. And at the end of the day, it's how do we deliver the best experience possible for people? And I don't feel like we're there yet. We're probably the best, but we're not where I want to see us be. And so we're constantly changing the process. We're constantly improving the process. And it's fun, it's rewarding to see something like this happen where there was a little bit of like, I don't know if I'm bought into this, and I would be the same. And so I always approach everything from that perspective of, hey, me too. I would be a skeptic. And so, it's just fun. And now here we are, and we're literally like 15 minutes from a place that we just put under contract to build out a showroom and design center in your backyard. So the next people that build here, their level of experience is going to be even better than the experience you had. And you guys are like, we're Raven fans,
Yeah.
So it's just a commitment to always getting better. Man, we've got massive construction going on.
We're on that
So,
timeline.
yeah. This is live action, guys. Like, but
You mentioned one of the things that makes you unique, and I think in the custom, let's just call it what it is. It's a custom home or semi-custom home. Everything is commonly cost plus 10. And the thing that makes it unique, and maybe it was one of the things that we didn't quite understand at first, was like, here's the number. Like this is what it is. And you manage your pot of money to do the site stuff. And you gotta, as an individual, as a homeowner or a landowner, you really have to guard that pot of money, because there's things that will come up along the way. But the relief of going to, we're signing everything, this is the number, I know what it is, and I know exactly what I'm getting. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to, Scott calls, hey, this is going up, or now it's this, or the number change. It's so easy that this is it. And I think that makes it unique in the build process. I have, got a friend that's going through the same process, and every little item is, we're negotiating. This is, is that amount really that amount? And you guys just take a different approach. Like, here it is.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Barndo Show podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this content, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And then be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms at the Barndo Co. Super simple to find us. And then when you're ready to dive in a little more, maybe look around some of our available floor plan options, or take a look at the gallery of our work, or maybe you're ready to connect with our team and explore what it looks like to build your dream barndominium, you can visit us online at thebarndoco.com.